Well, it's that time of the year, folks. The NBA Finals matchup has been set. What do we think? It's a small market finals for the NBA this year.
It's definitely going to be interesting.
It's a really, I think it's a really good thing for the NBA. Welcome to Dummies on the Hardwood, guys. Bennie, Bobby. But who would have thought, man? I know we had the Thunder. We all had, well, I still didn't believe in the Thunder, but now they're making me believe. But Indiana? Someone out there made a lot of money and bet that the Indiana Pacers were going to go to the
Indian
finals.
6, man, who would have thought?
I mean,
wow.
Tail of the tape. OKC Thunder, they've been rebuilding for the last 5-6 years?
5-6 years, and they're a homegrown team.
Initial thoughts
built through the trade.
What are your guys' initial thoughts on this series, Isaac? We'll start off with you, bro.
It's an interesting style of matchups. You have the defensive-oriented OKC Thunder, who will clamp down on anyone. And then you have the high-octane offense of the Indiana Pacers, who will just look to outscore you each and every way possible on the court. So it'll be an interesting matchup of coaches, especially. We got kind of like what? No, he's Carlisle and
Dagnall.
It'll be very interesting to see what they do. Both teams do have a bench, so it's not going to be like, what if they had a bench? So there's not going to be any questions, but it'll be interesting. It'll be a very interesting matchup. But what do you guys?
I think the Thunder are the well-oiled machine between both teams. They're the most balanced team between both teams. I think, like I said, I'm still Indiana. You know, they played some great defense against New York, but I'm still not sold on them defensively. I'm still not sold on the Pacers defensively.
I'm not sold. It's the Knicks.
You know, I'm excited for this series. For this, it's different from what we've been accustomed to the past several years. Small market teams, Thunder, Indiana, homegrown, built through the draft and some trades. So I'm excited to see this year's NBA Finals.
But if you're the NBA, are you happy about this? If you really think about it, unfortunately.
Well, I mean, look, you're happy because like if the Thunder win, this solidifies that SGA is the face of the league.
I don't think it does that.
No, but from this perspective, like
he
the
could
NBA,
be one of the faces.
But it puts his face out there. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this is our guy to represent the NBA, right? For the Indiana Pacers, it brings back, you know, Indiana Pacer basketball from the early 2000s. You know, with Jermaine O'Neal, Chris Mullins, you know, Jamal Tinsley, that squad right there. Danny Gray. I mean, think about the Pacers when they made the playoffs.
Let's go over a little bit of history, like for the playoffs. The last time the Thunder were in the finals, they had 3 MVPs. Those guys were James Harden, Russell Westbrook, and Kevin Durant.
And let's not mention Kendrick Perkins at center and Serge Ibaka.
And Nick Collison. Let's not forget about Nick. So who are you guys taking? That early 2010s OKC team or this current OKC team? Who are you taking?
I'm taking that 2013 team.
Current.
Okay, so why?
They're more deeper. They actually play along with each other. And let's be honest, playoff James Harden, give me a break.
No, all I'm saying is like when you got three future MVPs out on the floor together, Westbrook, Durant, Harden, and then you've got some good pieces. I mean, Serge Ibaka was it? I don't think Steven Adams was on that team.
No, not yet.
Yeah, that team right there, man. They lost to the Miami Heat. They lost to LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh.
I mean,
right? I mean, I'll take that team any day of the week. You put KD on the team, I'm signing up for that.
I mean, Perkins will get abused by Chet Holmgren
we were talking about those 3 MVPs, but were they MVPs that season? No. So technically, they weren't MVPs.
They're kind of like still young.
They were still young, so they were budding MVPs. Okay, their talent was still there. We'll give them that. I'm going to take this current OKC team.
They play for one another. They play together.
This OKC team is balanced with Chet, SGA, and Jalen Williams. And then you got wings. You got Lou Dort and Alex Caruso, who's proven himself. Won a chip. And you got a solid bench. You know, Isaiah Joe comes off the bench. You know, Cason Wallace.
Cason Wallace is going to get paid.
Cason Wallace, you know,
underrated, man.
Overpaid.
And you look
he would get overpaid.
And you look at that team in 2013. KD, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Thabo Sefolosha, Nick Collison, young Serge Ibaka,
Jeremy Lamb.
Jeremy
I
Lamb.
think Jeremy Lamb. Yeah, damn. Jeremy
So
I feel like there's another player.
I'm blanking on names. If you guys remember any names, tell me. But
please comment in the chat.
yeah, but I'm looking pound for pound for both of those teams. I'm taking this current team.
And let's be honest, if it came down to coaches, Scott Brooks would get cooked by what's his name? Dagnall, because Scott Brooks' offense was just give KD or rest the ball. Give KD or rest the ball.
Okay.
And Perk is nothing. Perk at that time, he was not a good center.
All I'm saying is center. I still take that squad, but I want to focus on this present day and age between both this team. What are we looking forward to this matchup? I know you said earlier you're looking forward to the high octane offense from Indiana, the OKC Thunder's defense. Who do you think is going to be the main X factor for both teams?
I think another thing that really should be talked about is what a title will mean for each team individually and organization in the NBA.
Right, and obviously too, you have to have an X factor in all the situation.
My X factor for the Thunder, I think it's going to be Chet Holmgren.
Chet Holmgren, yeah, he has to play great. He has to play good. He can't disappear. He can't. He can't hide from the scene. Who you got, Bobby? X factor.
Jalen Williams.
Jalen Williams for the Thunder.
He's got to be more consistent for the Thunder.
I'm going same thing.
He's got to be more consistent.
J-Dub's going to be important. He needs to show up. I think he will show up in the series for the Thunder. And on Indiana's side, who we taking?
I'm gonna go with Miles Turner.
Miles Turner.
I mean, he can stretch the floor, but he has a lot of inconsistencies.
Both
he
bigs can stretch the floor.
He has to stretch the floor, grab the boards, and play defense, even guard on the perimeter, switch off if you need to, but he needs to show up and lock down Hardenstein and Holmgren.
I think it's Aaron Nesmith. That's my X factor. Because he's going to have the primary duty of going to be guarding SGA. Him and Nemhard are going to be having to guard SGA. Well, and you don't have and I remember Nesmith's got a bum ankle. He rolled that ankle against the Knicks. So if he's not able to be 100% this series against OKC and he's not able to stay in front of SGA, it's going to be a long series for Indiana.
I agree with you guys. I think the biggest thing in terms of being what the biggest X factor is going to be experience. Is definitely going to be experience because nerves are going to be there. Everybody's going to want to have the pressure to show up and show out. And there's players on both sides. Like Caruso's obviously want to chip with the Lakers. Siakam's want to ring with the Raptors. So you've got players on both sides who know what it takes to be there. Now it's a matter of putting it together. And it's going to be interesting because I think that the defense for the OKC Thunder is going to hold the Indiana Pacers in check. That defense is stifling. They got enough wings to cover. I don't think, quite frankly, there's nobody on the Indiana Pacers squad that can guard SGA, Jalen Williams, or Chet Holmgren. I'm just keeping it real with you. Can't nobody guard him. Can't nobody guard it. You're telling me you're putting a 6-foot Andrew Nemhard on SGA? Okay.
You're going to get cooked, yeah.
And you're going to get destroyed any day of the week. Right? Chet Holmgren stretches the floor. He has a few. He can't have...
But then you got to have Miles Turner.
No.
Miles Turner against Chet Holmgren.
No, I know. They both can stretch the floor. I'm saying like Chet Holmgren where he cannot have 8 points. He can't have disappearing first halves. He needs 12, 15 points in the first half to keep the Thunder afloat and to keep them in the game and for them to even win the game and win the series. So Chet Holmgren's got to show up and show out, and also too as well as J-Dub. He can't be inconsistent. Indiana, you've got to have. I mean, you have Tyrese Halliburton as your main scoring option. You have Pascal Siakam. After that, who else you got?
I'd argue you'd have Aaron Nesmith, Pascal Siakam, Nemhard, and you got Miles Turner.
I'm just saying, don't fall in love.
I'm not falling in love. I'm just stating the facts.
No, I'm just saying.
I'm just stating the facts. Miles Turner can hold his own against Chet Holmgren.
Oh no, I'm talking about scoring options.
I think
I'm talking about scoring options.
major X factor that I forgot to mention, if they play him, dear Lord, Benedict Mathurin. He has looked like absolute a joke in the Indiana series. If Carlisle plays him, he needs to have a short leash with him if he's not helping.
Yeah, well, he did have it. He did do that in the last series.
But if you need scoring, you're desperate, throw Matherin out there, but don't throw him out for too long where it messes up your rhythm.
The Thunder bench is also going to be important as well. Thunder bench are going to have to show up and show out, because like I said, everybody's going to have their first finals experience.
I mean, I expect the first game to be a lot of turnovers, a lot of sloppiness, a lot of like
nerves.
Yeah. That'll be like the throwaway game, but after that, it's going to be an actual like series because they've never been to this high place in the NBA.
Yeah, and also too, man, the good thing is like both teams, someone's getting their first ring outside of your name is Siakam or Caruso. Someone's getting their first ring, so that's a win in and of itself, right? And the Thunder have looked like the more complete team throughout the whole year. Obviously they dominated out west, right, with their dominant big three of Holmgren, SGA, and J-Dub. I think the Thunder have what it takes to pull off their first ring.
We need to just be honest with ourselves for 1 second. We all have collectively said that we don't trust the OKC Thunder.
I said it.
I was guilty. I said it too. I didn't trust them.
Thunder fans, I owe you an apology.
But the OKC
Job's
Thunder,
not finished, but I do retract
the
some of my
OKC
comments.
Thunder have shown that they are legit.
They're legit.
They're legit. I got nothing else to say.
Yep.
And if we're talking about Thunder and Pacers, how many games this is going to go? I'm going to say this is a gentleman's sweep. I'm going to give it to the OKC Thunder.
Okay, Thunder in 5.
OKC
Isaac,
Thunder in
got?
5.
That'll be the controversial one. I'm going to say the Pacers in 6.
Why?
All right.
Why do you have
before
Pacers
I even
in
give
6?
my explanation,
Why do you have Pacers in 6?
Let's hear it.
I mean, once they get hot, it's hard to stop them. Yes, OKC has the roster to stop them, but can they? That's the thing.
But I still think so. I'm going Thunder sweeping this series. Thunder's going to be sweeping. You want controversial? I'm going controversial.
That's
Thunder
not
winning
controversial because people would expect.
Stop thinking you think it's controversial or it's hot.
Yeah.
Don't say that. Just say my take and that's it.
I know.
You
I know
don't
what
need to
someone's
burn
gonna
yourself
say.
out.
I know some people are going to say. You said people are going to go gentleman sweep. Who's going to say OKC in 4? Nobody. I'm saying it.
Okay.
OKC in 4. Did you guys say it? You ain't said it. Say it.
Okay, that's not really controversial. Not really.
OKC
You
in
just
4.
give them one
Gentleman
game.
sweep.
Wow.
I'm giving a gentleman sweep.
OKC in 4.
Pacers in 6.
Man, that's going to be some interesting series.
No, this is going to be a great year for NBA fans, but I'm not so sure about the NBA though. What are ratings going to look like?
Before we get into that, what does this do for whoever wins their legacy, franchise-wise? Do we look at Kevin Durant in a different light?
No.
Once SGA gets his
No.
first ring?
No.
I would. Definitely.
Nothing changes. KD just didn't show up. That's the bottom line.
KD chose to leave for a better situation and then proceeded to run from the challenge while SGA stuck it out for those rebuilding years.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fair point. I just think, KD didn't show up and show out. You either show up and win.
KD was KD though. He did show up.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. He showed up. He came, but obviously he was like, "Well, I'm out." Do I agree with what he did? No, but that's his decision. He didn't want to show up. I don't think that affects his legacy.
I think
In Thunder,
Definitely does affect his legacy, in my opinion.
How?
He left the team for the team that beat him. He didn't stick it out. He could have communicated better. He said he just wants the ball, but he could have talked to the front office. But he could have done a lot of things better.
Maybe in some regard, if he was like, all right, you know what?
Let's be honest. Most of his things are emotionally sensitive, triggered. That's why he gets called the cupcake, and then he even had a burner account, man. SGA, do you hear him complaining about it? No.
Goes out and does his job.
He does his job. He stuck through it. He's been through the horrible, horrible years, and now he's almost going to reward the OKC fan base with something Kevin Durant never
and
did.
their first ring.
Loyalty and a first ring.
And we got to sliding over to the Indiana Pacers. I mean, if Tyrese Halliburton gets his ring, what does that mean for Tyrese Halliburton? It's for me. What it means is that it solidifies the fact that this guy he's not overrated.
No,
this guy is capable of leading a team, and this guy is bringing back a championship to a franchise that has been starved for championships in the in the 90s.
They've been teased a lot.
With Reggie Miller, Rick Smits,
Early
Dale
2000s.
Davis going to the finals, and who'd they lose to? The Lakers. Lost to the Knicks. Getting this close, this much of a taste, and if Tyrese Halliburton brings them that chip to Indiana, Tyrese Halliburton's the king of Indiana.
Well, here's the thing. I still think that, my issue with Tyrese Halliburton has always been the fact that he's not very consistent enough. With SGA, you know what you're getting at night in, night out, right? Tyrese, he's had games,
Minus the free throws.
Minus the free throws, yeah. But with Tyrese Halliburton, there's been games where it's like, your team needs you,
And he's throwing up duds.
yeah, he's throwing up duds. So I still take SGA, and him getting the first ring, bringing it to the OKC Thunder fan base. Tyrese Halliburton, he's a hell of a player. Do I think he can carry a team? Yeah, I think so.
So if Tyrese Halliburton wins a chip for the Pacers, does that mean that he can carry a team?
Does that mean he can carry a team?
Yeah, if Tyrese Halliburton wins a chip.
I would say so.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree.
Yeah.
I still think he could carry
Yeah.
a team. I'm not disagreeing.
Right.
He can carry a team.
30-point triple-doubles with 0 turnovers.
I mean, obviously, you saw last year when they didn't have him in the last 2 games. You saw the effect, right?
Right. So that's what I'm saying. If Tyrese Halliburton brings a chip to Indiana, Tyrese Halliburton's the king. He is. Because Indiana's been starved for a championship.
Literally, because
Starved.
he was drafted by the Kings.
Starved. This close, and then you lose. SGA, if he gets a ring.
Okay, and how would this affect the NBA? What do you guys think?
I mean, the NBA is probably not happy.
No one's happy.
They're not.
They did a stimulus package to help ratings, and it'll just be interesting to see what new rules they implement in the offseason, in my opinion, because they keep adding rules that make no damn sense. But they should be happy because small market teams, they mean a lot to the NBA and a lot to those fans.
And those small market teams are actually going to help those ratings.
And in a way.
And they're going to, because those small market teams, those fans are like, they're going to be wanting to turn in now. Oh, OKC. Oh, Thunder. Oh, Pacers. Maybe I could start watching, I don't know, say Detroit more. Maybe I could start watching, I don't know, the Hornets.
I mean, 'cause
I'm just throwing teams out.
Think about it. Like, now we've got 2 teams in the Midwest. We have Indiana. We have Oklahoma. Think about it, what it does. I know all of Indiana and all of Oklahoma are going to be watching. We all know that.
Right.
Right.
So NBA should be happy because basketball fans and people in the state of Indiana and OKC are going to be tuned in.
But also, too, like to Isaac's point earlier, the NBA is not very happy.
They're not.
Because in all seriousness, we knew who was coming out west. Let's keep it real. We knew the Thunder was coming out west. And, obviously they got the MVP and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They're going to come up with another story and whatever, with ESPN, ABC, and all that crap.
By the way, shout out to ESPN for the Indiana coverage. Cool. You didn't give a damn about Indiana till they started facing New York. Nice coverage.
Yeah, and I mean, it's no disrespect to Indiana because Indiana got to where they're at. Right now, we still need to pump the brakes on them being a top team out east. Let's pump the brakes. I say they're a top 5 team out east. But I think for, in terms of ratings and stuff like that, it does you really good favor because you have Caitlin Clark out there. And now you got Tyrese Halliburton and the Indiana Pacers. I mean, you should be grateful for that. But, everybody wanted, realistically, everybody was looking at Boston or Cleveland.
But is that is that what the NBA wanted? No.
That's what the NBA wanted. The NBA either wanted Boston or Cleveland,
but they didn't get what they want.
Yeah, they didn't get what they want. So to Isaac's point, man, I would not be surprised if they start throwing some loopholes. They start throwing some BS rules.
Ratings are probably going to be low, unfortunately.
I'm sorry, man. I'm not even gonna lie.
It's unfortunate.
I'm being completely honest. I'm excited for both teams because someone's getting their first ring. However, it's just not very appealing to me. To be honest, like it's not very appealing. I'm gonna watch it. It's gonna be fast paced, fast energy. I'm gonna like it, but it's not the series I was looking forward to because, like if we just look at
It doesn't have the zazz as if it was Lakers in New York. Because if it was Lakers in New York, what would it have been?
Or Boston and Lakers.
Boston and the Lakers.
Yeah.
What does the NBA want? Out of every single year, who do they want out west?
Big markets versus big
markets. They
markets.
want the Lakers. They want the Knicks. They want the Celtics. Damn, every other team. Are the Lakers coming to come out the west? Are the Knicks going to come out the east? And then ratings are just going to go up. That's what it is. It's the unfortunate truth.
And last year, if you also think about it, when the Mavs made it, I mean, what was the appeal of Dallas? Luka Doncic to Kyrie Irving. And what was the main headline? Kyrie going back to Boston. Right? That was the main headline. What's going to be the headline this year? Can Tyrese Haliburton carry a team? Is he overrated? I don't think he's overrated. He's perfectly rated, but that's just me.
Rated.
So yeah, you got storylines, but they don't have that zing. Like, I'm like, well.
I think the more interesting thing will be the offseason because there's a lot of movement that's going to be done.
I think honestly, if we're keeping a buck, like let's just keep it real here, guys. Let's just keep it. Outside of your take, we already know that how this series is going to end up. We already know it, so we might as well call for what it is. I'm like I said, I'm taking the Thunder winning the series. I think every NBA fan is waiting for the NBA draft to happen, seeing Cooper Flag go to Dallas, and then we just start the free agency because we're already. I'm not like I said, it's exciting. It's great. Yeah, it doesn't have that zing that I'm looking for. So that's just my honest opinion about the finals this year.
Yeah, it is going to be boring. I mean, but.
I don't think it'll be boring.
For basketball fans, it's gonna be
good. It's gonna be
great.
It'll be different. Like I said, it's different, but like I said, it's just not. There's no zing to it. But I'm gonna be interested to see the fast pace from both teams. So that's all I gotta say on that series.
Any other thoughts?
Nah, man, that's all I got.
Thunder in 5,
Pacers in 6,
Thunder in 4.
All right. With that, thank you for listening.
Oh wait, I want to also say.
You ruined my perfect ending, man. God, okay, what? That was perfect.
Remember
booty tickle, bro.
What PG said about Tyrese Halliburton.
What did he say?
No.
Wait. I don't remember.
That was good.
I don't remember. That's what?
You don't remember what he said?
I don't remember.
Benny, what did he say?
Bro, you'll get a laugh at this, Isaac. God, and this is Paul George. Paul George was like,
Pandemic P?
Pandemic P. No.
Yeah, what did he say? It was
the dumbest shit. He's like, Tyrese Halliburton is the face of the league. And I said,
boy, you better stop with that shit.
You better stop.
You better stop with that.
He said, Tyrese Halliburton is the face of the league.
Mind you, this is the same dude that said, I'm gonna take a break from podcasting when his team is out of the playoff hunt.
But this is also the same dude that said, if I join the Indiana Pacers, we could win a chip. No, you ain't.
No, you not, bro.
No,
Stop.
you ain't. Stop it.
Stop, dude.
You're not going back to Indiana. Don't nobody want you no more, bro. You damaged goods. Keep it a buck. Just keep it a buck.
The fall of grace. Paul George, the fall from grace.
Yeah, so he talking about like Halliburton face of the league.
Hell no, not even close.
Not even close.
Benny, take us home.
All right, Tim. With that being said, make sure you guys follow us, like, subscribe to us on YouTube and TikTok. We are on all platforms. Show us the love, comment, and subscribe. We do appreciate your support. If you know someone who loves to talk hoops and hear three dudes talk into a mic
idiot
about
takes from
hoops,
Benny,
or that, come subscribe to Dummiez on the Hardwood. And that being said, have a great rest of your evening, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back next week.
Night.
Pacers in 6.